later, what is next? Black Friday, right? Next day, Black Friday, we had the second stream and the third stream now. And this will be the third giveaway in a row. So the first topic of our first stream was our starter kit, Aqara starter kit. So we did discuss many things on that stream about this product. Okay, the second one was about G2H camera hub here. So we did do two giveaways. So first, of course, the topic was the starter kit. We did give away the starter kit to 2 of our users, or 3. Yeah. Second time we have given away 2 G2H camera hub, and now we also will have a giveaway. You can guess what kind of product we will have.
You know, I love Zigbee a lot, so maybe. Like,
no, of course not.
Okay.
So not everything like the same every time. So we got all the 3 streams. We have different prizes for you. So first time we had the starter kit. Second time G2H, and now we will have the Aqara smart wall switch. So there is a small problem with this because not everyone maybe will be willing to get the switch. But in case you are the winner and you really don't want to get the switch, in this case we can discuss it. And you can get some other products. So no problem. When we announce this moment, feel free to send the comments, as it will be requested by us, and you will get the chance to get one of our products. And of course, the topic is this kind of wall switch. This wall switch has 4 versions, and now we'll just speak about many things. Oh no. Many things connected to this smart wall switch. And of course, I wanted to congratulate everybody with this 3 beautiful holidays, which is Thanksgiving, obviously, Black Friday, and Cyber Monday. So, thank you. Okay. Of course, as 2 of these great holidays are about e-commerce and shopping, we have prepared these big discounts for our US and CA Amazon official brand store. So these discounts are quite impressive. So let me just discuss them once again. So for this discount, we did start this discount starting from the Thanksgiving day, so last Thursday. It did continue the previous weekend, and now we got the last day of this discount, this big discount when the prices of our products are very close to the lowest, the year lowest prices. Okay, so what kind of discounts do we have? For example, you can begin.
Okay. So today we got the G2H, and there's a super great deal here. We got like 29% off, which is like $20.
Sure,
yeah.
This G2 gets 29% discount. So previous original price is $69.99, and now this is like a bit less than $50, so $49.69, which is quite impressive. So overall, the discount start from 20%, and the biggest discount is on the topic of our today's live stream. What is that? What is the topic? Obviously, this is the Aqara smart wall switch. 36%, the highest discount. So of course we have 4 versions of this switch. The discount is slightly different, but overall they are from 34 to 36%. So now, for example, the cheapest option, which is like wind neutral single rocker, the price equals just $23, $22.98, and discounts equals 34%, and the highest discount is about the wind neutral double rocker version. So it does look like this. Double rocker means it has 2 buttons here. Okay. Once again, also stable, right? Okay. Let's start. And we would like to say that, but of course, let me just start from the overall representation of our products. So, which kind of product our products are based on? Do you remember?
Can you repeat that again?
Okay, so let's say what kind of wireless protocol do our products communicate with?
It's a switch.
No. Okay, so let me begin from the very beginning for those who don't know much about this topic. we did discuss it last time, but let's say we have some newcomers for our stream, and that's why I think I should express it a bit more. So what do we have? Basically, the cheapest and the most popular solutions for the smart home are based on Wi-Fi, right? So I think everybody has the Wi-Fi at home. Why? Because they have a Wi-Fi router, and this kind of Wi-Fi router can connect to any kind of Wi-Fi devices. That's why it was so easy to make people understand, like, what kind of smart plug is this, just because this smart plug can be connected to any kind of home network, right? Yeah. But this is not the best solution due to several reasons. We did discuss this reason last time in depth, but now let's say we will discuss it a bit shorter, right? So what kind of reasons? For example, Wi-Fi is limited by the number of devices connected to your router. Let's say if you connect 60 devices to your router, most likely it will have issues with the connection. Our products are based on a very different solution, which is much better for smart home, which is called Zigbee. And this Zigbee doesn't have this big limitation. For example, the G2H camera hub does have the maximum of 64 devices. As for our newer hubs, we will even support 128 devices in the upcoming product. So this is much different from routers. I think that most routers only can support at least less than 50 devices without any performance issues, because the typology of this kind of network is different. So all the devices connect just to one router, and it makes some bottlenecks for the performance of these devices. In case of our Zigbee products, we have many devices, such as, for example, this wall switch with neutral, which is connected to the network by wire to your electricity network, and that's why it can act as a repeater. So what does it mean? Let's say you can put it in some room, and the Zigbee network in this room will be automatically strengthened. So very different from the router. So let's say to make your router network, Wi-Fi network stronger at home, you have to buy a separate Wi-Fi mesh router to put in every room, which is much more expensive, and still many limitations keep being there. Okay, one more small announcement. As always, we will welcome all kind of questions. So you just can write this kind of questions in the comments of the live stream, and we will answer them. So one time, let's say for 5 minutes or something, we just stop and check how many questions we have, or even faster. Okay, so we got some questions, right?
Yeah, we
don't hesitate. Okay. So I have a few of those switches, and they were great. Thank you. So sure, we see that many of our customers already bought the switches, and there are no big issues with the switches, and we are glad to see this. So basically, we launched the switches in May, and since May, I think they keep being one of the best options when it comes to Zigbee protocol, HomeKit compatibility, and we keep holding this kind of status, right? So one more question: how about Zigbee 3.0 versus Thread? Okay, I did elaborate on this during our previous streams. Yes, everybody is waiting for Thread protocol. Why? Because all the big players do support this protocol. You can guess which players support it. So new protocol, they say better than Zigbee. Yeah, a bit better, not a big difference.
I'm not a technician guy.
It's okay, no, just which companies. You can guess which companies do support this protocol.
Maybe Apple.
Sure, Apple. In HomeKit Mini, they have this protocol just built in. Others? Any others guesses?
Maybe some.
No. I think as well, but the biggest Google is supporting as well. So
okay.
Basically, the biggest players do support the protocol, and what is good for it? So someone would say, let's say you have Zigbee and they have Thread, so probably your solution is not very compatible, so not that advanced, Thread is better. But I can say that Thread is just a development of Zigbee technology. So basically the same frequency, 2.4 gigahertz. Basically the newer devices, which will support Zigbee, will be able to be updated to Thread, which is a big difference between for example, Bluetooth chip. In case you have a Bluetooth chip which is 800 megahertz, yeah. In this case, you cannot just update 800 to 2.4. You have to have a separate chip for thread protocol. In our case, it's a bit easier. So, and the main advantages of thread are the same as the advantages of Zigbee. Okay, let me continue about the Zigbee advantages. More comments. Okay. Ooh, okay. Welcome everyone. Hi, Jennifer. Okay. Can I use the US smart switch with the mainland server? Yes, you can. This smart switch is exactly using this kind of case. Okay. So
we go one more question.
One more question. Have you thought about doing a mini switch that would fit with the core plate similar to a Pico remote? Yes, this is a very good idea. This is something I really want to see, let's say, next year. Let's see if it will be possible. We have our sales manager as well, so maybe we need more support on this. So probably this will be a good option. We understand fully. For Europe, we do have switches which fit exactly with the European volt switch, the same form factor, the same design. But for US, we only have the wired volt switch. This is a good idea. I hope we someday will make it. Okay. Why? Because, for example, in some cases, the three-way setup, you just want to put the switch somewhere where you will not make a hole in your wall. So just install the wireless switch. For now, we don't have this kind of solution. Of course, it's possible to, let's say, to buy a European like square wireless switch from some cross-border channels, but officially we only have the wall switch and mini switch in the US. Maybe we'll come up with some frame for this kind of mini switch, but it's up to our product team. Okay, let's keep moving on when it comes to Zigbee. So what is good about Zigbee? First of all, let's say the repeater function. So the Wi-Fi devices do not have this function. Secondly, the cloud. So many of Wi-Fi devices have to connect to the cloud to send the, let's say, the signal from sensors to controllers. We don't have this. Our network is local, similar to HomeKit, for example. So how does it work? It means like even if there is no network, let's say we have a router and we pull out the wire, and in this case, our automations will keep working. Moreover, let's say we have a new device like this, for example, wall switch. It is based on Zigbee 3.0, and Zigbee 3.0 does have many advantages. So the main one is that even if you have, let's say, two devices, let's say this mini switch has Zigbee 3.0, actually it is Zigbee 1.2, but I'm pretty sure we will have much more Zigbee 3.0 devices since this year. So every of our device coming to at least to like European or American markets will have Zigbee 3.0. In this case, even let's say you will unplug this hub, so G2H camera is a hub. You don't need the hub if you have a G2H camera, so unplug. Even in this case, this kind of wireless mini switch will be able to trigger this kind of wall switch. So even without the hub, it will work. And with this will increase stability a lot. And this is something Wi-Fi just cannot do by itself. Okay, keep going. What else? Of course, the battery life. You know how many years?
It's 2 years, right?
2 years, right? So, but 2 is just a, let's say, conservative estimate. Yeah. Actually, by many users, the battery life of our devices reaches up to 4 years. And I've heard that. So it's up to your usage. Let's say if you will trigger the motion sensor, let's say 50 or 100 times a day, of course the battery life will be less than 2 years. But 2 years is something like threshold for like ordinary people, and certainly, most likely, the actual battery life will be much bigger, longer. Yeah. Okay, so battery life is much bigger compared to, for example, Wi-Fi sensors. Actually, not many companies even do Wi-Fi sensors, make Wi-Fi sensors because of these kind of limitations. Let's compare. I have seen like the Wi-Fi sensor. I don't remember by which company. So the size was like this. It does have 3 ordinary battery cells inside, and the battery life is less than 1 year. In our case, the battery is just nothing. It's so small. So underneath, we have the battery of CR2032, and this kind of battery provides this kind of sensor with 2 or more year battery life, which is also more ecological. Yeah. Okay. I keep going. Some more questions. Okay. Can I use the US wall switch with Media Smart Hub 3 and Mi Home app? I think not. I think we don't. Do we support Mi Home? No, we don't support Mi Home. So we try to develop our Aqara home ecosystem. So of course, for now we don't have so many products there, but this is something which is developing fast. for example, compared to 1 year ago, for example, on American markets, we had how many products? 0, I think. Yeah. So we launched just 1 year ago, and now we have quite many. So let's say this is Aqara home app. Once again, feel free to download and check it. We have many Aqara products, of course. So for now, only Aqara products are supported, but let's say in the future, we hope for some more integrations and more products. But even if you only have the Aqara products, you obviously can integrate these kind of products with our ecosystems, other ecosystems. Which kind of ecosystems do you know?
Not really.
Not really, okay. Apple, oh, it's here. So, okay, first of all, of course, Apple HomeKit. This is for us the strongest and the best ecosystem for Aqara devices, at least for now. So this is Apple's home app. It's like orange one. And here we have all the devices. So all the devices of Aqara, except for the Cube, can be connected to HomeKit natively without any hassle. So without any home breach or apps like that. As for the Cube, actually it can be connected as well, but you will have to use series shortcuts for this. Also, not a big deal for those who just use HomeKit. The second and third ecosystem cycle for Western markets are obviously the Amazon Alexa and third one, Google Assistant. Okay, Google Assistant. So we support this kind of ecosystems as well. But the thing is, like, they don't support all the types of sensors we have. But for the controllers, such as smart plug here, or for the smart pole switch, or some more devices will come quite soon. These devices are fully supported by all the three main Western, let's say, international ecosystems, which are HomeKit, Google Assistant, and Amazon Alexa. Okay, any more questions? No more. Okay, don't hesitate. You can ask the questions not just about our topic of this stream, which is the smart pole switch, but about everything, even about like some devices which have not come to overseas market, to international market yet, also made by Aqara, and even not by Aqara. So everything is appreciated in this case. Okay, keep going. So we did express why Zigbee is better than Wi-Fi overall. So, and the interesting thing about this kind of wall switch is that, of course, you can say like Wi-Fi wall switches are much cheaper. I have seen the switches for $15, but one point is that, like today, up to this is the last day of our discount, right? So after next midnight, this discount will be obviously over, and the prices will get back to normal. Not the like your lowest, very close to your lowest prices. No, like okay, the price from tomorrow will be much higher in this case. So take your moment and feel free to get what you actually wanted. Okay, so as for these switches, the difference, let's say, there is some difference between Wi-Fi solutions and our solution, which is based on Zigbee 3.0, the newest Zigbee protocol. But the thing is, like, first of all, the discount makes the price of our wall switch as low as $23, which is not far from actually the cheapest Wi-Fi solutions, which require the clouds and have many limitations of Wi-Fi protocol. And secondly, what is interesting about our switch, this kind of switch, unlike the majority of our switches, does have two buttons in one gang design. So let's say some switches do have, okay, I'll show you. Let's say have the same US wall switch design, but they also have two buttons, but they take two spots, two gangs of the wall switch frame, yeah? But in our case, you can just put this kind of bolt into the wall and connect two different devices, lights, such as, for example, fans, or what else, bathroom exhaust, whatever which is like in accordance with the rating of the switch. Okay, for example, rating of the switches, slot is 600 watts, so anything below 600 watts of incandescent lights, for example, or 200 watts of LED lights will be okay. So you can even connect some motor, like for example, how to say, this foods. You know, sometimes in the kitchen you have this kind of machine which you put underneath the same generator. Yeah. Okay, so just to make your, let's say, your waste production more efficient, just put all the products into the sink, and this kind of device does destroy them. By itself, no need to throw them in the garbage bin. Okay, you can add this kind of devices to this switch as well. So the power this kind of motor or any kind of motors will be one force of horsepower. Yeah. So many use cases this switch has, and the key thing about this kind of 2-button switch is that you can basically, if you have a 2-GAN switch in your home, you can buy this kind of switch, buy a bigger frame on Amazon. Yeah, this switch is compatible with standard the Aqara frame, which is the most widely spread in the US and Canada, so these kind of American markets. In this case, you can just buy another frame of similar design and put this switch inside this kind of frame, which is a good thing. So 100% compatible, standard frame. At the same time, put some, let's say, maybe some water switch or some like dummy like piece of plastic here. And in this case, you will get just 2 switches for the price of just 1 switch. And if, in case you will, let's say, divide the price of our 2-button double rocker switch, which is now as low as $25.98, so less than $26, 35% discount until tomorrow, right? So in this case, if you split by 2, you will have just $18, let's say, for 1 switch, which is almost the same as the price of Wi-Fi, conventional Wi-Fi US wall switch. Okay, we go. Okay, one more question. Can I use a media gateway to use a command devices? It depends on the car's prices. So as we try to develop our own ecosystem, and I hope like very soon we'll have much more features, let's say features people are requesting in our Aqara Home app compared to the Home app. Of course, in terms of devices, it's hard to compete, but things like the newest devices of Aqara do not support the Home, with some very rare exceptions from this rule. As for our classic devices such as sensors, yes, you can use, but some exclusive. Oh, this is the automation about the vibration sensor. You're very sensitive actually, so just any kind of small vibration will be detected and turn on this smart plug. Okay, all sensors do support Mi Home, so you can use it, but we suggest you to use our Aqara Home app, especially as there is not a big deal that we don't have so many products, because you can use other ecosystems such as HomeKit, Google Assistant, Google Home, or Alexa, or even more for other countries such as Russia or Korea. Okay, one more question, yeah? Can I use Apple Home Control or a switch? Yes, of course. So this is very easy. In this kind of Apple Home, you can just like press the button and it will just work. So without any issues. Our Aqara wall switch does support Apple Home. The only limitation for now is that G2H smart camera has not got the support yet, but it will get the support of all of our controllers to be exposed to HomeKit very soon. So now we are using G2H as a hub, yeah. So very soon, and but for now, even if you buy G2H with this kind of wall switch, even in this case, it will work just because we have Aqara Home. So all of our controllers are already supported in Aqara Home app. For example, here you can see the Aqara wall switch already working with the G2H as, because G2H is a camera. Okay. So one more question. I have an Aqara switch, but it detects only a small off switch. Oh, okay, sorry. But not this pulsating switch, pulsating function. What is ever be added? Pulsating function, I'm afraid function you have to have some kind of dimmer. Because the thing our switch does is just to and off. So you press the button. By the way, look at this speed. So it's almost instantaneous. See? Immediately you can see the status, which means our communication with the server is quite fast. Okay. So, any more questions? Okay. So what we will, once again, what we will discuss during this stream. First of all, we will. Okay, one more. Is there a plan to do either a three-way compatible switch and or a dimmer switch? Okay, I can say that like technically, technically our switch is not three-way switch. Yes, three-way is a big topic for especially for the Americans because they have like single-family houses, right? And staircases. So we know about this. So that's why I'm trying to like push forward the idea of this kind of wireless switch, which will actually act the same as three-way switch, and you will be able just to put it on the place of your secondary three-way switch, or even update this kind of switch with full three-way support. But for now, there is not a big deal as technically we have a new feature which is called convert a wall switch into a wireless switch, which means when you press the button, relay inside will not be triggered. So in this case, technically you will be able to install two wall switches with neutral as three-way switches, but this is like unofficial workaround, so better to check on some community pages. Okay, but yeah, we know about three-way problem, and like in the future, I really hope we will have some solutions for this as well. For now, only like not a full three-way support. And mini switch can also act like a three-way, so put it anywhere, and it will just trigger the switch, make it on. Okay, so more questions?
Yeah.
Long press function has also been removed. Will it ever return? Okay. Long press function for a wall switch, yeah? Yeah, sure, I don't see this function, so let me check this later. Probably this is a good question as well. But for mini switch, of course, there is no such problem here. So mini switch, you can make an automation. Let me show you this. So make automation for this mini switch. Long presses here did not go anywhere. This very cost-efficient, bless you, this cost-efficient wireless mini switch, which now costs how much? Now costs just less than $30 with a discount of 28%. It can have this kind of function, the function of long press. And it also can be exposed to HomeKit, which is good for you in case you want to control some other accessories by other manufacturers. Okay, some more? Oh, okay, Eric, nice to see you here. The G2H is not only a car hub, but also a great HomeKit camera. This is a good thing. So, sure, this was our idea. What is our idea about the products is that, like some other manufacturers, they sometimes present some hubs which only have the hub functionality. Let's say it is a smart home sensor, so very good, maybe cost efficient. You can connect the devices to the hub, but it doesn't have any other functions. In case of our solution, we have different hubs which have many extra functions already inside this hub. For example, you can check the G2H camera hub. So technically, it's one of the best HomeKit secure video cameras. At the same time, when you buy this kind of G2H camera hub, in this case, you will not need an Aqara hub. So you can just connect all of our Zigbee sensors from older ones. Once again, we have this automation, right? Oh, maybe make us. Let's go. Okay, you can just connect our sensors and controllers to this kind of hub. At the same time, use it as HomeKit secure video camera. We did discuss it like 2 days ago, and yes, this is one of the most cost-efficient and one of the best solutions in the segment, which is kind of amazing. So, and the discount for G2H Smart Camera, so camera hub is, so the price is now less than $50, and discount is 29%, which is quite big, very close to your lowest and all-time lowest, or even all-time lowest price for G2H, right? Which was just announced a bit more than 1 month ago. Some more questions. Yeah. Which you recommend, the Aqara hub M2 or the G2H? Really hard to answer this question. Depends on you. What kind of device do you need? So M2 has not come yet. So for now we got G2H. So you can directly buy G2H from our brand store in case you are in Canada, Amazon.ca, or in the US, Amazon.com. Yeah. But for M2 you have to wait a bit more because it is not ready for the American market yet, unfortunately, although it will come out soon. So M2 will have the infrared controller. Compared to G2H, will have just the camera, fully functional HomeKit secure video camera inside. I think camera is more interesting because like HomeKit secure video does give many advantages if you are fond of home security and don't want to pay any extra. You have iCloud, don't want to pay any extra for the cloud storage. This is kind of really like unique function. Not many cameras on the market do have this function. But no camera which supports HomeKit secure video does have the hub functionality inside. Okay. I have the cube. Would the mini switch more helpful? Also depends. So cube versus mini switch from Aqara, let's say. Hard to tell. What? Okay. Cube certainly has much more use cases. So it has 6 configurable actions, but the cube by itself cannot be exposed to HomeKit, for example. Only via HomeKit series short, only like that. So for mini switch, only 3 actions basically. So it's obviously smaller and it's easier to use. You have to remember something. Okay. The actions of the cube for this kind of mini switch, only 3 actions and easy to understand. Up to you, and of course, the mini switch is cheaper. So let's check. The cube is now $14.62, 23% discount, and mini switch has like a bit less than $13, 28% discounts. Of course, it's a bit cheaper. More. Okay, let's keep going. So let's describe the selling points of this Aqara switchable switch, right? So first of all, the key and a bit like interesting, let's say, a more or less unique advantage of this switch is that it does not require neutral wire. So this is a bit neutral, but this one is no neutral version of all. So why it is important? Because if you check, for example, the Amazon.com US, you will find out that only a few switches have this kind of like do not have this kind of limitation. So in case your house is quite old, let's say built older than 40 years, more than 40 years ago, in this case, most likely you will not have the neutral wire in your wall box of the switch like this. So in this case, you will be limited. You will not be able to buy any kind of like cheap switches. So many of them are in the market. Let's say Wi-Fi ones. You will not be able to buy this kind of switch compatible with your wall box, which doesn't have a neutral wire. In this case, we have our Aqara wall switch, which only requires 3 wires, which are like ground wire, okay, the light wire, the light wire, which is like actually, the switch is breaking this circuit and switching the Wi-Fi on and on. So just like simple, it is supported. This kind of wiring is supported, and this is quite kind of unique feature. Of course, non-neutral switch does have some limitations. For example, it doesn't have the repeater function because repeater function requires some constant power to be to the switch. Yeah, but this switch does not require it. So this is easy. But overall, the automation support and overall functionality of the switch is almost the same. Second point is that no neutral version does not have the energy monitoring function. I'll show you it later. Okay, keep going. So no neutral, this is one selling point of this switch. Of course, no neutral, we have the same 2 versions, so single rocker, double rocker, and the price is a bit different. So for example, for no neutral single rocker, the price is $25.59, and this is the highest discount of this Black Friday season from Aqara, Cyber Monday as well, of course. And the double rocker is now $28.99, also 36% discount. And what is interesting, the non-neutral version is obviously sold better than with the neutral. Why? Because there are no more, not many alternatives in this case. Yeah. So this is the selling point number 1. So I don't remember, like at your home, do you have neutral wire or not?
I don't know.
I don't know. This is clear. Okay. So of course we say like, but we can say that many people are quite okay to open the wall box and check what is inside. So of course, if you have just 3 wires, most likely okay, you don't have the neutral. And in case you have 4, and have the green wire, in this case you do have the neutral. So this is a big difference. And in case you don't have the neutral, you are quite limited. But in case of Aqara, you are not limited. You will get the same Zigbee 3.0 switch functionality in case of Aqara smart switch, and the price will be quite affordable. And this will be quite a good offer. Okay, this is point number one.
Okay, we got.
Okay, two more questions, please.
Do you have a
Do you have a scene set up with Siri? Scene set up with Siri. So our devices do support. Right now, unfortunately, not for some reason, we don't have a setup right now. But okay, overall, of course, our devices do support the Siri, HomeKit, Siri shortcuts, and all this stuff. And of course, no problem to call the scene using Siri. But not only my point is that a really smart home is. Well, I don't know. Basically, no, Siri. Thank you.
Still working.
Okay. So the problem is the speed of Wi-Fi here, unfortunately. So next time we'll hopefully fix this kind of issue. And Siri
Still on it.
still on it. I don't know what does she thinks about our setup.
I found some web results. I'll send them to primary users' iPad.
Okay. Thank you, Siri. What? Okay. One more Siri, please. So what I wanted to say is that, of course, the scenes are supported, and you can call them by Siri. But the thing is, like, the best way for a smart home, at least from my perspective, is that you don't have to touch anything or call anything using Siri or any other voice assistant. Just come home, open the door, do everything like you are used to do, and the smart home will just make routing interactions automatically for you. I think this is a big difference from something which is, for example, made by Google, when you just have to call any kind of routing by yourself. This is like different levels of automations, but having all the automation configured, I don't think you still have to stop using the voice assistant, obviously, because in many cases the automations do not, are not following your behavior, which has changed a bit. In this case, like, you can just correct this kind of automations which don't fit your in this particular moment using the voice. No problem, like, hey Google, hey Alexa, and so on. Because all of our controllers do support these three most popular voice assistants, and all of our sensors do support HomeKit, and like, it's up to for example, Google and Alexa, if they can bring the support of all the sensors we have, all the devices, and as soon as they have the support, in this case, we will support them as well. Okay. Any more questions? No. Okay, so let's move on. So I did explain.
No, we got two more.
Okay, two more. No problem. Aqara light bulb, 110 volts. Unfortunately, not. So for the US market, we don't have light bulbs. This kind of light bulb is not for US market yet. Probably in the future, but for now, we build switches. So we are not like Philips Hue, for example. We try to provide more switches than the bulbs, at least in the American market. So, but stay tuned. Quite probably we can get some light bulbs in the future, but I cannot say when, unfortunately. Okay. And one more. Other plans for the car air quality sensor? Sure, we have this plan, and this kind of sensor will enter the market hopefully first quarter of the next year. So stay tuned. We'll have a test as well, I think. So stay tuned to our channels, and we'll have a Aqara air quality monitor as well, which does support HomeKit, of course, like usual. Okay. So second point I did express already. So this is the 2-button wall switch. So you can just install it into your wall box of 2 buttons. And in this case, you will get just 2 switches for the price of 1 Zigbee 3.0 switch. Very easy. Okay, I did express this already. So the point number 3 is that since some time ago we do have this function of convert to wireless switch. I did already express it. Okay, how does it work? Users did request this kind of feature for a long time. So in August, I think we did implement this feature. This feature simply disconnects this kind of button from the internals of the wall switch. And since then, you can just like remap this button to any kind of scene you want to follow inside the Aqara home. Let's say you want to turn on the smart light by pressing this kind of button without turning the switch on and off by itself, no problem, you can configure this and use it in Aqara Home app. Okay, how does it work? So just in Aqara Home app, you can just enter the page of the Aqara wall switch, go to the settings, low battery. Okay, so and here you have these two features. One of them is obviously the change to wireless switch. So after changing this, so I did that once. In case we press the button of the switch, the light will not turn on. Yeah. So it means like even if you press, you can map this button to any of your scenes or any of Aqara's controllers, or even hub's night light or RGB light. At the same time, you can control this light using something else. For example, this wireless mini switch. So press, and the light turns on, which means that the relay is connected now to this smart wall switch, which is quite handy, I think. So, and second feature we have here is the feature about power off memory as well. Users did request this feature. Finally, we have this feature here. So, what does it mean? For example, in some cases at home you have blackout, which means shortage of electricity. In this case, even if at night you have this kind of shortage and everything goes down and the switch is always off because you're sleeping, you don't have the light. When everything goes on again, in this case, the light will not turn on by itself. So in many of our convenience switches, this feature is not there. You cannot even configure this feature. And here in Aqara Home app, you can just change the setting by pressing this kind of small button here. And okay, in case, let's say, in case there is a blackout, the light will not turn on and wake you up. I think this is quite important that we do know that many of the devices, including some of our devices, like without having this function, did get many requests from our users. We implemented in many of our other devices. For example, EU light bulb here. This feature should arrive in December as well. Okay, any questions?
Yeah.
Okay, plan M1S global version. Of course, we have M1S plan for global version, but a bit later. And I can say that there is not a big deal, not a big difference between like Aqara Hub original one and M1S. So the same devices are supported in the Aqara Hub. Is like more stable overall. The M1S will be okay as well. So and even Zigbee 3.0 devices basically are supported by Aqara Hub as well for now. So they're not limited. Okay. I did describe these two features, and now let's move on and speak about the repeater and extender function. So what does it mean? For Wi-Fi, no smart home device with Wi-Fi will be a repeater for your Wi-Fi network. Yeah, but for Zigbee, any kind of device which is connected to constant current, so hardwired to your electricity network, will have this kind of repeater function, which means, let's say you have just one hub to board, like GBH Smart GBH camera hub, or for example, a car hub. And you have, let's say, several smart plugs, just you put them where you want, and several like switches with neutral. In this case, your Zigbee network will be really strong, and and the range of your Zigbee network will be increased a lot. So just put one smart plug in the room where Zigbee signal is not very impressive. So I can just show you how to check the Zigbee signal. Let's say you have a door window sensor. I go to the settings of door window sensor from Aqara, and here you have a point which is called Zigbee signal, right? And here you can just check how strong is this signal. And here you can see that, of course, very close to the hub, and the signal is 100%. Like this, you can track and check what kind of placement of your accessories, such as sensors and hubs, is the best for your Zigbee network. For the signal. I know, like, quite many users do like this kind of features, and like, some of our competitors do not have it, so that's why you can check this kind of graph here as well. Okay. This is about the repeater function. One more small thing is that the repeater function is not supported by this kind of switches. You switch without neutral wire. So non-neutral version does not support this function. Why? Because to use this function, the constant current should be wired to the switch. And this is not the case of this because in case of non-neutral, the electricity is not enough to launch this kind of particular function. Okay. So what is next is the frame support. Let's stop on this as well. So I remember that some of our users didn't like our frames so much because the majority of frames are like reflecting, like glass ones. But in our case, we have a matte plastic, let's say soft touch plastic frame. And what is interesting, the majority of switches do not have this kind of frames. And people were even requesting from us to make the switches of 2 or 3 gangs inside them using the same matte design, not like glass one, which is reflecting, maybe collecting more fingerprints, but this kind of design, which is very consistent to the design of all of our sensors and all of our devices. So no video sensor switch as well, vibration sensor, mini switch, so the same design, which is I think quite consistent in our case. So this frame is having exactly the same widely spread format as other switches as well. The format is called Aqara, which is a trademark, although it is supported for our switch, And of course, you can even use this frame with some other switches as well if you want. Much sense, okay, and of course, if you already have the frame of this format, in this case, you can just install our switch into this frame without any problems. Okay, this is point number 4. Let's go on. Okay, so this is about the ecosystem support and voice control. In case of course, we only sell this kind of switch for now in the US and Canada, and we do support all the 3 most widely spread voice assistants or smart home ecosystems of this market. So, which kind of ecosystems support we have here? Apple. Okay, Apple HomeKit, right? So, of course, the best ecosystem for Aqara devices. Second, Google Assistant, So someone says that Google Assistant is the best voice assistant that is in English. So have you ever used it? Me as well. I didn't use it since like much time ago. Now, of course, I don't use it anymore. But they say this is really amazing. For example, the function of duplex, when it can just you say like call the barber shop and make an appointment. It does call by itself. This is something like nobody else for now has, at least in the Western market. Chairs, I think it's wrong. Okay, and third one, the best, according to some people, the best ecosystem for smartphone, which is called Amazon Alexa. Our controllers, such as, for example, Smart Lock, US Smart Lock, and this kind of 4 wall switches do support Alexa as well. Okay. Alexa has many thousands of devices, and the strong point of it is that it has many skills. So actually, some user-generated apps or like user-generated apps for the Alexa, you can teach the skills to Alexa, and one of the skills is obviously a car skill. And you can use it in both Europe and the US and Canada as well, of course. Using this kind of wall switch and smart lock as well, and some of our sensors. Okay. So that was about the ecosystem support, which is quite an important point because we don't have so many products on the US and Canadian, American markets yet. So you can just connect other devices, which are also connected to Google, Alexa, or HomeKit, to our devices which do support these 3 ecosystems. It's up to you. Okay, one more point is the power metering. Let me show you this kind of function. Okay, so in the settings of wall switch with neutral, there should be this kind of feature, but we don't have it right here. So let me show you the same feature of the smart lock. It does look absolutely the same. So here you have these 3 numbers. These numbers are your power consumption. So daily, monthly, or even yearly, you can check it without any issues. So and check the graph of your electricity consumption. So we know that, for example, in the US, the electricity cost is quite high. That's why, for sure, people are concerned about the electricity consumption. first point is the cost, and the second point is like how much ecological do you leave. So you just check how much energy do you spend, because energy is something like very easy to get nowadays. Okay, so this is how it does look like. So you can check the total graph of your electricity consumption very easily. You can switch the period of days you want to get information for. So and check which days were the most power consuming ones. And this is how the power consumption function of US wall switch does look as well. Which is one of the points. Not all the Wi-Fi solutions do have this function as well. And once again, we do not have this function in non-neutral version of our switch because of the non-neutral limitations. But for bit neutral version, something like this, both single rocker and double rocker, it does work. And once again, the discount is the highest for the Aqara wall switch, from 34 to 36%, which is the highest discount ever for this kind of switches.
Okay.
So,
Okay, one more friend come from South America.
South America, export to Peru. Oh, I like Peru. I have been there. Okay, greetings from Peru.
City, right? So
I'm
now you
not sure. I haven't seen the city like that, but
Okay.
I like Peru. I have been living there for some time. Okay, for Peru, it really depends. Okay, for sure, we have the plan to enter Latin American markets, and in some cases, for example, in case of Argentina, we did have some experience with them, but of course, we need some support from the users and especially from the distributors. So, in case we have some distributors who want to distribute our products in Peru, in this case, we will obviously consider, because we do have the products and they are compatible with Latin American standards as well. So no problem. Just hopefully this kind of distributors will come next year. In this case, we will start as fast as possible, but this is after sales department as well. Okay.
Okay, we got like
Let's yes.
300.
I have a few of our products. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Traffic Solution is back. Okay. This is the winner of our previous giveaway. So once again, we will have a giveaway at the end of this stream. Last giveaway of this series of holiday streams, right? I just started to learn about them. So far, it's interesting. Okay, so keep learning. So we have actually the interesting thing is that for some users, it's not so easy to understand how to configure automations, and we have really big and almost endless abilities when it comes to many combinations of devices, such as like using automations used in different use cases, not only in a Aqara home app, but also in HomeKit and Alexa and so on. So this is a big topic, and of course it's impossible just to cover it so fun. So keep learning, and I think, like for example, for me, I did learn for a long time, and now my home is almost completely automated. This is something amazing. I don't touch any kind of switches because switches are, for example, used automatically via Aqara home app. Okay, I'll show you some automation very soon. Okay, okay, we finished with the selling points of this Aqara smartphone switch, and now let's speak about exactly the automations. I was trying to start speaking. Wow. Okay. So use cases and automations. What is the most regular use case for this kind of Aqara smart wall switch? So what do we have here? You can guess.
Light.
Of course, lights. This is quite easy to understand, right? So we have this kind of motion sensor, right? Or we have a door window sensor here. So how does it work? Really easily. You have a hub such as Zigbee camera hub or Aqara hub. You connect the sensors to the hub. At the same time, you have controllers such as this kind of wall switch we are discussing right now. And this wall switch will turn on and off the light according to the signals from our sensors. What is the typical use case? Let's say this light there, down, is connected to our Aqara wall switch directly, like this light is connected to this switch. In this case, you can configure a simple automation, which I will show you right now. So which is called door window sensor, yeah? Okay. For example, if door window sensor is open, in this case, turn on the light. Now, this automation will just work very fast because it is Zigbee. It will be very stable in case of no electricity. Okay, no electricity still not, of course no electricity smart wall switch will not function as well because this is an electric device which is hardwired. But in case of no internet connection, these automations will work as well. So you can check. Open immediately, this light goes on. And second automation, of course, to make this light go off. Same. Turn off the light in case you close the door with the sensor. Let's try again. It will work absolutely the same in case of this switch. So this is the most basic automation. The same for the Aqara motion sensor. Same. Motion is detected, you can turn on the light. In case of no motion is detected, let's play. Accessories. Okay, I don't see it here for some reason. Anyways, like in case of motion sensor, absolutely the same. We'll just turn on automatically. I have this at my home as well, so I enter the room, the motion is detected, the light goes on. In case there is no motion detected for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, it's up to you which kind of period of time you want to configure. But after that, the light will go on or not, depends on you once again. Okay, this is the most basic automation you were completely right. Okay, some more questions. IFTTT, a big question. So for now, unfortunately not. We do have a small workaround for Android phones because Android phones using some software can grab the notification from a car home app really easily. In this case, you can connect the car devices to IFTTT, but this is not native support for now. We do have this request. We know some people are like wanting to have IFTTT support with the car devices, and hopefully we can get it within several months, but it's not sure yet. So we will announce in case we are ready to open this kind of access. And I think in case we open this access, we will have some beta tests. So keep tracking our social networks, or let's say Reddit as well, in case you can check something about the beta tests. So for now, no IFTTT. And secondly, why it's not so fast? Because recently, some time ago, IFTTT did limit the quantity of free applets to 3. So every user can only create 3 applets without paying to this company, which is a bit unfortunately. So, for example, Paul Hibbert did have some videos about this, but you can check.
Someone interesting table. So
Sure. Okay, of course. Once again, during this like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Thanksgiving stream series from Aqara, we did have giveaways, right? Already 2 giveaways, and we'll have one more last giveaway after I'll explain the automations which are connected to this whole switch. Okay, so let's keep doing it. Yeah. Okay. So what is one more use case, very natural use case for this Aqara smart wall switches, which get a discount up to 36% today until the next midnight. Okay, this is the support of bathroom exhaust, for example. I know like people usually have an exhaust fan in their bathroom, and at the same time we have a sensor which is called Aqara temperature humidity sensor here, which can detect what temperature, humidity, and atmospheric pressure if you want. Yeah. So and using a Aqara home app really easily, you can configure any kind of okay. So let me reset it. Any kind of automations based on this temperature humidity sensor. Let me show this. So this is temperature humidity sensor. So we have the temperature here, we have humidity and atmospheric pressure, and in the car home app, we can check this kind of data from this just on the home screen. At the same time, you can use it in HomeKit as a temperature and humidity sensor, the same function, but not a pressure sensor. Yeah. Okay, so what kind of automation I'm talking about? So this is the automation when you install this kind of double rocker, for example, smart wall switch. One button does control the light in your bathroom, so you can make it automatically using the motion sensor, for example. This is how in my case it works. Just you put this kind of sensor, you enter the bathroom, immediately the light goes on, and it goes off only if no motion was detected for some 5 minutes, for example. And second button using this kind of wire is also connected to the bathroom exhaust. So you can do it differently. So you can turn it on and off like using the app. For example, here we have the switches, or using HomeKit as well, as this is supported. Or what is most interesting, I think, is to make an automation using this kind of temperature humidity sensor, which will turn on the exhaust fan in case the humidity in your bathroom reaches, let's say, 90% or 80%. Pretty easy to configure. You just okay. Let me show this automation. You just add new and as an if condition automations. If condition, you just choose the temperature humidity sensor. And here you have many different conditions. It's up to you how to configure it. So, for example, for humidity and this automation I'm discussing right now, you can just click the humidity reaches up to and choose what kind of level you want to trigger your switch from. So, for example, in my home, this is like 85%. And in case of humidity reaching 85%, in this case, it will turn on the bathroom exhaust. Okay, let's even test this automation. By the way, we need a charger here because battery is dying, so we have only 2% left. So I tried to charge it. Not too much trouble. Thank you. Okay, we can figure a simple automation. So
Yeah, I have one question for the sensor for the detect
Yes,
the
please.
lights. So when people, for example, when people get into the bathroom, right, and the sensor will detect the motion.
Yeah.
The lights goes on, right? Yeah. So how long will lights will last? Maybe like 1 or 2 minutes, or
it's really up to you. You have
so the sensor has to detect the motion again, and lights will go down.
yeah. So we have a cooldown of 1 minute actually. So
Oh, okay.
and sometimes, let's say, if you enter the bathroom, you will stay still, very still. In this case, of course, you can think that you are already out. But to get rid of this kind of disadvantage, it's not very like hard. So you make an automation to turn on the light only if no motion was detected within 10 minutes, for example. Like for me, if I'm in the bathroom, I always like move at least,
When you stay in the bathroom, and
yeah, at least move at least once during 10 minutes. In this case, it never goes down for 10 minutes. So not a problem with this. Okay, smart plug turn on off. So let's try this kind of funny automation. Let's say we are in the bathroom and there is a shower, and I will simulate the shower, and you will see how does this automation work. Okay, let's try. Temperature humidity sensor, it has this kind of holes here, and of course, this calls the air is getting inside the sensor. So, of course, my breath is quite wet, so let's check if it will reach 85% humidity. Sorry. This was a problem. Okay. Thank you. We can connect some. So I'm breathing, so maybe 85 is too high for my breath, but according to our use case, it should turn on, and the humidity will reach 85%. A bit weird, right? Okay, anyways, let's check if it will go.
I think the wire is too short.
Okay, anyways, no problem. Thank you. Okay, what is next? This is the bathroom exhaust automation. Let's suppose that in my case, I just configured it in a way that the exhaust is just turning on and off automatically after I start taking showers. So let's say the delay is normally not more than 10 seconds. So there's no problem with the delay because overall the sensors are very fast and you can check it here. So almost immediately. Okay, one more small use case. Thank you. This is about door use sensor, but maybe it might seem a bit weird for some people, but the use case is like that. You just have a toilet.
Nice hairstyle today.
Thank you so much. I wasn't sure about this hairstyle. Anyways,
I don't care.
what you don't say about Chris?
No.
No,
I don't
check
care
the
one more
hairstyle.
year.
Anyways, okay.
Still waiting for Aqara in Australia.
Australia, yeah, Australia's still not the first. Oh, some nice news. I didn't know this. So coming soon to Australia. Amazing. Actually, Australia, we have a very strong competitor which has some products with similar functionality. Hopefully, we will overtake competitor when we start selling in Australia. Looks like it's closer than I thought. Very good. Okay, Australia will be on our way. Okay, so my weird, let's say, use case was about the toilet. So you just take this small door window sensor on the toilet, and when you open the toilet, the exhaust will turn on, the bathroom exhaust, right? So I think this is quite handy because the exhaust is needed when you go to the toilet, right? So, and you will not have to turn on the exhaust every time you enter your bathroom, let's say, because sometimes you're not going to the toilet, maybe you just go to wash your hands, right? So one more simple use case. Okay, keep going because we need to have some time for giveaway as well. One more automation unit, which is more or less DIY, is about this kind of two double rocker wall switch. What is good about this is that if you know something about the electrical engineering, let's say, so you can make the switch change the speed of your fan as well. So it's not official, let's say, you should do it only in case you understand the wiring well enough. But it's quite easy as well, as soon as you are able to install the switch by yourself. Of course, we do not suggest you to install by yourself, only in case you really know, have some knowledge about it. But in case you have the 2-button wall switch and just one fan that has that can change the speed based on the voltage coming from the switch. In this case, you can put a resistor on one of the channels of the switch. In this case, when you turn on just one channel, in this case, the fan will be spinning faster. And in case you turn on the second one, which has a resistor on it, in this case, the fan will be spinning not so fast. So you will get actually the control, two-speed control of this kind of conventional ceiling fan without any issues with our 2-button wall switch. And once again, not many switches do have this function. Okay, let's know the deals once again. Our deals are from 20 to 36%, and this kind of switch has the highest discount between all of our products. So sensors get a discount from 20 to 29%, I think, yeah, 28%. So as for G2H, it does have camera hub here. Once again, you don't need the hub in case you have a G2H camera hub on physical video compatible. So the discount is 29%, and the price is now less than $50, which is all-time lowest, right? All-time lowest, right? Okay. And the switches, the first 4 versions of the switches do have the discount from 34 to 36%, which is also all-time lowest price for them. And today we discussed the switches, all the essential automations, and now it is the time to have a giveaway, right? Yeah. So once again, in case of giveaway, so we'll be giving away this kind of switches to you. But in case you did win, but you don't want to install this kind of switch, let's discuss it. So probably we can give you some other products in case you're not that satisfied with this kind of switch, because we understand that not everyone can install this kind of switches at home. Let's start the giveaway. So how many switches we have? I think 3 channels or 3 channels. Three channels. Once again, 3 channels means we'll have 3 switches given away to you in case you will follow our simple task, right? So what kind of task? You can. Okay, one more question.
It's not a question.
Okay. I have an automation in my home office that when the temperature gets to 76 degrees Fahrenheit, it activates the ceiling fan. Yeah, this is as well. So really similar to our bathroom exhaust automation. So, but in this case, you don't use the humidity level from this sensor, temperature humidity sensor, but the temperature from temperature humidity sensor. So like this, yeah. Also simple to configure in the Aqara home app, no problem. And finally, it will just work even without the internet connection, which is good for compared to many other competitors which are based on Wi-Fi protocol. Okay. Once again, we give away these switches, and in case you want specific model of the switch, let's say single rocker or double rocker, no neutral, in this case, it just when we find out that you are the winner, we just send us a message and specify what kind of switch you would like to have, or maybe you don't want to have this kind of switch. In this case, we will discuss it and you will get what you want as well. Okay, so that is as simple as usual. So you will have to post a comment in the comment of our live stream, and now we'll choose. You can suggest what kind of thing they have to type in there.
Let's make it simple. Cube.
Cube. Okay, Cube. You know the movie, which is called Cube.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me announce when you can start typing the comment. Okay, let's have a countdown. You will have to type Cube into the comments of the live stream. Okay. So are you ready? Good. Okay, let's make countdown.
Okay. From 10, from 3.
Whatever.
3.
3,
2,
2,
1.
1, go. Okay, just type Q in the comments, and after we get enough responses, in this case, we make a random draw of our switches. One switch or one product per each of our channels, which are Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. We're using them now to have our live stream. Okay, Q once again. So how many do we have? 1. Okay, more. 6. 6. Okay. Okay. So you can check when we have enough. Okay, just type Cube and we will make a draw. Cube, C-U-B-E, right? Okay, so I think we can go. So let's say stop. And now our friends will understand who did win our products. This was the last giveaway of our series of 3 live streams. First time we did draw our smartphone starter kit. Second time the Zigbee smart camera hub, and now we did draw the smartphone switches. Okay, so do we have any winners? Okay, we'll tell very soon. All right, so someone. Okay. Okay, here. So we already have 2 winners, right? So one from Facebook is David Benitez. David Benitez, sorry. Yeah, in Spanish, I think. So he is the winner for Facebook, and Eric is the winner for YouTube. So Eric, it has some lot of. This is just a question. So Eric and David did win our products this time. Please contact our okay, one more winner, I think. So yeah, from Instagram. So Weiwei, nice to meet you, Weiwei. So you didn't get. I think the smart wall switch very good. Okay, the problem is that Weiwei is here, so no problem. Okay, there is a question in YouTube. So the question is, I wish to buy Aqara products in India. Is there any option? So unfortunately, for now, the only option to buy the products of Aqara in India is to use something like AliExpress. If AliExpress is available in India yet. So sorry. Yeah, probably in the future we'll enter Indian market. Of course, Indian market is very big. Looking forward to it as well. But for now, only this kind of opportunities for Indian customers. Okay.
I think we have the winner from Instagram.
Yeah. Okay. As the winner from the Instagram actually sitting in the same studio with us, of course we will give this prize to someone else. Some users. Okay. The user has a nickname of NHIB. And so how do you pronounce it? Sorry.
I think no.
Chan.
Not a video.
Chan. Okay. So Chan, please connect our official account and specify your address, what kind of price you want to get. So the primary price is the US wall switch. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Now we did specify who was the winner of our third giveaway of the series of our November holiday streams. Okay, and now I think we can finish the stream. Oh, this kind of, no. Okay, thank you for your attention. We will have more streams in the future, let's say
in the near future. In the near
Near future.
in the next
What do you call it? Near? I think the next stream will be Christmas Eve, and we will have one more stream, at least one more stream for this kind of occasion. And I hope it will be even more interesting for you users, and we will prepare some new topics for you. We will not repeat the same things from live stream to live stream. Thank you for your attention. It was me, Philip, and Chris, our guest for these two streams.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris, as well.
Thank you.
Thank you for your
Thank you,
enthusiasm. Thank you for your question and participating in our live streams from Aqara. See you in the next.
See you guys.
So, see you.